was the best ad, like one of the most effective ads of all time. Every celebrity in back-to-back commercials. Then you have a QR code. Then you have this curiosity, like, what the hell is this thing? So overall, like, I didn't do the video yet to share with you guys of like the last week's feedback, but I can definitely say that everything's much better direction. Like all the target audiences make sense. There's a lot of variety in the videos, like what Liam was saying with like putting the captions in the hook. It definitely adds to the visual variance of everything. But the most important thing is every hook is speaking to someone different. Like this focal C2s, like every single hook was speaking to a different person, for example. That's one I have top of mind, and we'll go over that one. So I think you did this one right, Ronaldo?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Did you list them out, like which one was a persona? Oh yeah, there it is. So I think that was like kind of how when I was reading the script or this brief, I was like, okay, I think I understand that each of these hooks are speaking to one of these core people. So like there's the value-oriented person, that's the gift giver, that's the fashionista, probably more of like person that's into fashion, but more of like the authentic person, and then someone that plans their outfits. But generally, this was like a solid one that showed 5 different people.
I was also, just as a side note, I watched a YouTube video with the CEO of Instagram, and he was being interviewed and like, talking about the new changes and all those things. And he mentioned that they are changing their algorithm to really like focus on authentic content. And so I don't know if like adding the word authentic there does anything, but that was me trying to like manipulate the algorithm in a way to kind of like make that content pass as authentic to the platform or something.
Nice. Did they share anything else on that?
He basically talked about valuing authentic content. Not a lot of changes on like our side and the things that we do. He was mainly talking about the engineering side, and I don't really remember all the terms he mentioned, but I can share the link with you if you want to watch it later.
Please. Cool. So I'm expecting like the only deviation here is obviously just going to be this. I have the 5 personas, and let's begin. So honestly, like, I mean, I'm looking for now like the variation, but I didn't even notice there's 2 videos here. Like I just kind of saw this. There's like white space in here. I think every person will see or watch that differently. Like some people are banner blind. They're just not going to even see this at all. So one suggestion, and again, this is like a very, very slight thing, but it's more of like to get the attention span is if there's a particular word that you want highlighted, maybe just like highlight the word authentic, do some sort of like highlight banner, like banner over it, do like a 50% opacity, or like put this on top of a white banner, something like that. So the word authentic stands out, the word like daughter maybe stands out, whatever the core message you want to reach. Like I'm imagining this is oriented towards a father or a mother. Does that kind of make sense? Like I think it's just like there's a lot of stuff happening. I'm very curious to know what the performance on this is, but like did any of you notice the text, or did you guys like look here?
I was looking more to the pictures too, but this was also the reference video had this style, and so that was like trying to recreate that style because that's what they asked for. But yeah, I'm definitely more driven towards the images too. I think making one of the words bold might be a good way to make the text stand out.
Yeah, I'm seeing in the reference here. I'd imagine like their whole thing was like around personalities. That's my guess. Again, it's very slight, but and this has nothing to do with like the algorithm understanding that you're trying to like force that like word. But again, it's super slight. I was just sharing like I think everyone will look at something differently here, and we can watch the rest of the concept. Yeah, I mean, I think this was a solid ad. There's also, I'd imagine, like a little bit harder to make because it was more different than the other ones. But yeah, I think it's nice. Was there a reason you didn't put the logo?
Yeah, I generally like working as a graphic designer too and things like that and social media. Generally think that if the video is going to be shown on a platform where the logo icon is already going to be on the profile picture and the name of the brand is already going to be on the platform too, I don't see the point of putting the logo on the image because it seems like wasted space and just visual noise because the information is repeated basically. But for a design aesthetics point of view, I can see how that looked nice in the reference video. I just would use that if it was like being distributed through different means. Like if it was an influencer publishing that video and then the brand itself is not doing it, you know.
Yep.
But I'm not opposed to doing it if you think that that's not.
No,
a
I
good
was just
approach.
asking because it was in the reference. Like, I agree with that logic because generally, like, it would be covered here. The thing I would just shy with caution for everyone on this is like when somebody converts this to a 4x5, let's say approximately, they can choose the like how they're going to orient it, like whether it's going to be from here to here or they're going to do from here to here. Ultimately, like Facebook actually, some people like do auto Facebook, so it may just be like this. So you may lose like the frame a bit. So just something to caution with this. Again, like if it was a brand owner doing it, they'd probably start it like this, but it would go up to here. So that's just what happens when people convert it to like a 4x5, which is just going to be like a feed plate. So just something to consider. I mean, formats are going to be tough to like fit within there. Yeah, like this one probably would be looking like Solus C40. All right, so again, I'm not going to look at this yet. I'm looking here to see the variation. I'm sick of seeing this. Why has everyone wearing these now? I guess that creates curiosity and intrigue, but I'm not sure who that's for. Is it just my timeline or are these watch bands taking over? I'm not sure who that's for. My sister told me these bands are comfortable now, and all I see is their ads. I stopped wearing my Apple Watch. I think my algorithm realized it or missed the memo. Was there who made this one?
I did.
Was there a particular the customer asked to like kind of do a curiosity or question around like algorithms and like the feeds?
Yeah, that was like the reference video. It's like basically that style of having an overlaid ad on top of the video and then like basically going around why is this ad following me.
Cool.
Yeah, the reference
Which is
video is always
also
like the most interesting part of these.
this was also the second time they ordered from that reference video, so I kind of like assumed that this like worked for them in some way, but it was the exact same reference video.
This one, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't escape Ridge ads. Okay, I'm pretty sure Ridge has been following me. Their ads are everywhere
Oh,
on
I see.
Instagram,
Okay.
Facebook, even when I'm just Googling random wedding stuff. So fine, Ridge, take my money, you win. I got one for my fiance. He's not a jewelry guy, so I knew finding a ring.
I'm sick of seeing this. Why is everyone wearing these now? I swear, Solus has been following me. Their ads are everywhere. So I finally gave in and got their Imperium Adapt Band. It is so breathable and my skin loves it. I got this sand color first, but they were so comfy. I ended up getting the slate blue and the black also. They match my outfits and I can wear them to the gym too. The best part is that they have a lifetime warranty and they're built to last. If Solus is following you too, the universe is giving you a sign. Listen to it and get yours at solusbands.com.
Nice.
Is it just my timeline or are these watch bands everywhere? My sister told me these bands are comfortable and now all I see is their ads. I swear, Solus.
Cool. Nice job. Makes sense.
I stopped wearing my.
Did you record this screen recording on your phone?
Yeah, I did. I also remember, I think last week you showed me one of the meta pages where we looked at like some of their successful ads. And I think this one with these visuals were one of the best performing ones. So I recorded it intentionally, like to maybe help with that too.
Nice job, sir. Yeah. So has it been more fun to have like the variation in like, because I think they're doing the most extreme variance in their orders, like soul span. Has that been interesting or challenging?
I think,
And I think
like I said, the reference video is the most interesting part. It's always a fine line between like deciding how much to go off of the reference video and like how much we should take over. But I definitely appreciate and admire them like trying out different things because I think that's all about trying to see what performs better and not just going with the trends or something.
Cool. I don't have any feedback on that one. I think that one's good. So you did nice there. I've also like never tested these types of concepts before, so like I'm very curious like how they would how they do for them. And with Drew's help, we'll be analyzing everything. So we'll know like what's working, what's not working. We can do focal one. This one I had quite a bit of feedback on. The biggest gripe I had with this one was it focused on like having a college kid. And I think that's fine, but we put that on all 5 of them, which made it challenging to know like if it's only going after people that have college kids, how many people don't have people that are currently in college, like kids currently in college? Because the ad targets people that are 40, 50 plus. Like I recently turned 50. Generally, in generalities, like people that are 50, their kids are just getting out of college. If the average person that is like 27, 18-year-old gets in college 4 years later, 5 years later, they're graduating. So when I saw that, I was like, this is going to get a little bit tricky because we're like really niching down to my first feedback. I just told the editor, I did the QAs, and I said to cut everything on 4 of them and just keep 1 for college. And then the hook itself, I thought the hooks were like pretty solid. Like I thought this was the best one to keep for the college kid because of my daughter who got me thinking, and I wanted to imply that with the college daughter. And this was deep sleep gummies sleep score. That was people that are just turning 50, getting in shape, so active, and then quality of sleep. But my biggest gripe of this one, I'll show you the difference here. The first version. I think we re-uploaded it. I'm not sure where it is anymore.
Ever since I made the switch to focal deep sleep gummies, I've had sleep scores like this. She was home from college with a group of friends, and I was offering them wine at dinner. And she kind of laughed at me, and she said, "No, we don't drink. Like, no one drinks anymore." I felt super defensive almost. I'm like, well, I just drink at night. It helps me sleep. She goes, how does it help you sleep? Do you wake up feeling good the next day? I'm like, no, I'm pretty tired of not needing alcohol at night. And started waking up feeling better than I've ever felt. What is the reason people should be doing this? It's not just to replace the wine, they just help you feel good. Not just when you're taking the product, but the next day. Wake up feeling restored and refreshed. So try them. Feel the difference.
I'm trying to find the original version. So let me see where I left the comments. So like for example, like all of them had the same thing. My college kid convinced me to stop drinking before bed. Like they all just immediately filter out anyone that didn't have a college kid. So that's why I was like, only on version 1, we should keep that, which was I think this one. That was the final one because he was talking about my daughter. And then on the other ones, there was a part where he was talking. Firstly, the product was different in one of these ones. Like that was the wrong product shown. That was like like an energy one instead of the sleep one. And then there's like this guy talking. Can't remember where he was. This one.
Replace the wine, they just help you feel good. Not just when you're taking.
I just felt like that was a little bit weird because it was a personal story, and that kind of threw off the narrative. And at the very end,
Trying them. Well, we have a 60-day.
We have a 60-day money back guarantee. So just like again, I very rarely like make QAs on like the bodies, but this one just didn't make sense just because on the personal story, we're focusing on me, and then it went to like some random dude, and then it went to like we. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, it kind of feels like it's his personal story, but then he's talking as if he's the CEO of the company. I can see that.
Yeah, and people like if they made it that far and they're like interested in the product, and then he says we do it, like people's bullshit detectors will go up, and then that's
Yeah.
really installed the whole time.
Yeah, even things like he's wearing the vocal t-shirt. I edited the second ad for this, and then there was one scene where he was showing a glass of wine, and so I tried to specifically like choose the part where he's covering the shirt because to me even like showing that would turn me off.
I didn't even notice that, but yeah, that's a good. So the biggest changes was just the hooks. Again, I think they were like the talking points are well selected. Also, the constraint was like it was only this single guy that was talking. So that's why this was totally fine to do. Just like focus on him talking, like a personal story, and then just on one of them double down on this, not on all 5. I bet this is gonna go viral just because of the color of her eyes. Honestly, people will probably go nuts in the comment section for that. So that was like the longer one. It was like 6 seconds long for it to read. So my guess is like this one's probably gonna be the lowest performer, just on the length of it. But overall, they're all very unique. That's what we're looking for. And the rest of the video is editing. I probably, again, I don't know the clip selection would have cut after this section of her. So like right here, I would have shown a different person because we go from 14 seconds to like I think 20. It's like just focusing on her, but that's also like even before. So for like 10 seconds, it's like the same chick. So I probably would have cut like that 14-second mark and either done a different person saying this or like a different visual, and I wouldn't just cut to her. That's a just slight retention thing, but I think people may drop there.
What I'm curious about on the insight side is like, I know this kind of looked different like a year ago, but if people are more attached to like personal stories from one speaker, or if UGC mashup like still crushes, at least when I'm making briefs like this, I'll use like a consistent speaker in the intro so that like it gets the product across very clearly. And then in the body, I like to switch up the speaker to show like more social proof, but that's just like a personal thing. I'm not sure if that's like effective. So that'd be like a nice thing to look at.
When you're saying mashup, like videos that have a general mashup or like multiple people, like more than 3 people, or what do you?
Yeah, like more than I guess like 4 different speakers. Like maybe you're just talking about 3 benefits rather than having one person state those benefits. You have one person state a benefit, another one, and then another one. I don't know. Like at least when I'm like scrolling Instagram, I just notice a lot of single stories, not like switching up. But I don't really have a preference.
Wonder how we can. Yeah, I mean, this is solid. That was like a really good ad. Only thing again, just like I think people would probably drop there. Again, the challenge is how do you know if there's content that can be switched in there? I don't know. But overall, like I think the use of like at this point, like after the 30-second mark, where you're having people like say the benefits and then cutting to a different person saying a different benefit, and it just flows the way it did is really good. So good job. This also, by the way, from like a sales side, led to the customer booking a call right away, right when they saw this ad. Like they were very impressed with this one.
Get us some sleep gummy samples.
You want some?
Please.
Yeah, Ronaldo request that
Did you?
specifically.
I did.
Okay. I mean, we can have like a product request channel. And like everyone wants to always send stuff, but then I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I never ask for anything, but if you guys want stuff, I'm sure we can get them. So
I would
anytime
like some.
you like, just let me know.
Okay.
That'd be a good.
Free product.
I genuinely, so sorry, I genuinely struggle with sleeping, and so that like really caught my attention. But they're kind of expensive, so I was like, I don't want to make the investment.
Okay. I'll message them.
You should request Crown.
Yeah, that's like the ultimate sleep package and all. You're gonna get everything.
True, you can make like a combo ad, like a combo testing.
I honestly do not. I don't think I've been sold on the grounding sheets. I'd be willing to try if they were free.
Made like 40 briefs for them, and I still don't really understand.
I'm a real use case because I do struggle with sleep. Like I take melatonin every night and still struggle.
So what angle do you think would like work for you? Like if you were to see an ad, let's say you didn't know the product, like what would it just be saying? Like, do you struggle with sleep? Or do you think there's like a more like powerful one that someone like? Is it a question? Is it a statement? Like, what do you think someone can get?
Definitely not. I think I like to see what is in the.
So ingredients.
Yeah, that usually catches my attention because I've been having sleep issues for a few years, and so I've researched all about melatonin and magnesium, THC gummies, all of those things, and so overly emphasized with the magnesium and L-theanine, and I know those usually don't. So yeah, I've just done a lot of research, and when I see something that's maybe a different combination of ingredients or something that seems promising in the things that I've seen work for me, then I'm usually.
Have you guys ever seen this before? Like the 5 stages of awareness? This concept of unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product. So I think what you're describing, Ronaldo, is you're solution aware. You've looked for the solutions. Now you're product aware. Like you know specific products like the focal sleep gummies. But like to go from product aware to like people that are most aware, generally it's like just a timing thing or just a price thing. It's just a matter of time that they then end up purchasing the product that they already know. most consumers, and like the reason our ads work quite well is because we never mention the brand, whereas most brands think that people know. They're like, here, buy my product, here's my logo, but nobody is aware of that brand, let alone with that. But when you can take someone from being completely unaware of a product or the problem or the solution, then you bring them all the way to product aware, that's like why the ads convert, is because you skip this gap. So in your case, like, you know exactly what you're kind of looking for. Like, you need something that's more solution oriented. So like, if we know that we're going after someone like you, we can try 5 different angles at someone who's very ingredients, or like a discount, or whatever it is that like your objections would be, and you see which one would resonate at the time that you're seeing it. And then maybe you need to see like, you know, an ingredients ad first, and then you need to see like social proof ads second, of like a quick compilation of people that are, you know, within people like you, not someone who's way older, you know, that's so it's more valuable to you. And then the last one is you get hit with like, here's 50% off your first purchase, and then you're like, okay, I got it. Like, I need this now. Facebook's very good with their algorithm of finding people that need a solution. They just are being served. So the way, like, if we're offering a good product to people that need a solution, that's typically if you're either like people aren't aware of their desire or their needs. So it's like people have no, they're or somebody might know, but they don't know the actual root cause problem to it. And then some people actually know the solution, or like the reason that it's happening. And then finally people know what products can the solution or the reason. Does that kind of make sense? So like, if we're saying these are the best Apple Watch, maybe people that are like product aware will resonate with that, but like people that are unaware that they even need an Apple Watch band, like why it's even. But if you're going after people that like wear an Apple Watch band, and you're like, did you know that Apple has a lawsuit with their, you know, silicone bands? It's very different than saying like our watch bands don't have solution / product. If 90% of people are here, then like you're telling a hook or a headline that only a subset of them. So like the focal 2 one was really good, because once you know, people know they have a problem, like, or maybe like unaware, right? Like drinking before bed is just like a good or bad habit. They're not even aware it's a habit, but then you show it, even in an exaggerated way. Like people like, oh, maybe I should not be doing that, but like, what's a better alternative? Well, I know melatonin is not good for me, or maybe it is good for me, or, you know, maybe I'll try THC or CBD, but like they don't know any solution or realize they have a problem, and then now you can like bring them through this journey. That's the goal. Does that kind of make sense?
I guess, is there one like bucket you're more curious and like us testing for like the short-term future? Or do you feel like it kind of just differs between?
Most people don't know they have problems, but we all have problems. Like everything is a problem in life, and the way you excel in life is you just solve the problem. That's all it is. But if people are like that, they even have a problem, and then we can show 5 different problems, or 5 different target audiences, or the same target audience but 5 different ways of conveying it. Generally, problem, or you can solve a hard problem with a good solution at an affordable price, which is a product that people are selling. That's just going to be it's a win-win for everyone. High click-through rate is due to relevance of empathy, of understanding the user or the viewer, and then product aware is just like having a good product. In this bucket here, this is if you use them as an example, like how hard would it be to compare like people that have never heard of grounding sheets versus people that have heard of like grounding products, but they just have never heard about GroundLux before? Like, which one do you think is easier to get to?
Or I guess if they're not aware of GroundLux or
Yeah,
grounding
like, they don't
sheets.
even know, like not heard of GroundLux, and like people that have never heard of grounding, or people that have heard about grounding. To convince people that have never heard of grounding or like anything of that category, get a bed sheet like that, they're gonna think it's just like some bullshit or something. I don't know. Go here, like people that have problems sleeping. Now you're competing with Focal against GroundLux. One is a bed sheet and one is a gummy.
So depend on your target audience or like the age range of that. Because I noticed like in your LinkedIn post the other day when you were studying on Peloton, the solution aware one where like the product wasn't even or problem was not set up and it just went straight into like this helped me post recovery. I think that worked because like older people don't really need to be like have their problems stated to them almost like they have like 70 years on life, like they're very aware they have like joint pain or whatnot, opposed to like a younger audience with like Solace bands. Like none of my friends, like they all have Apple Watches, they all have silicone bands. None of them know about the harmful effects of that. And like every time I tell them, they're like looking up the lawsuit and whatnot. So I think that like might be like a thing to like consider.
Product specific, it's age specific. Like I think a big part too with Peloton and like an older demographic is generally they have a doctor that told them that the doctor diagnosed the problem and he gave them a solution, and then they get that solution, and then you show them a product that solves that solution for them. Therefore, it resonates because it's exactly what they needed at a price that's not like a $4,000 a month, you know, caregiver. It's like $100 single time use product or single paid product that's can be used whenever. I think it's a good point. That's why it's really important to know the audience first, because like, you know, talking about anything about PFAs versus someone that doesn't know about PFAs, completely different ad. With Solace bands, like if they're really trying to push bundle deal, right, 5 bands for $99, if no one has ever heard about Solace bands, do you think that they would just like spend $99 on 5 bands? Like, do you think they would know what to use 5 bands with or for?
No.
So for the brand, it's just not going to resonate. You lead with like the fashionista tasker, like those different personas. The person who's like, oh yeah, I have a job and I work out and then, you know, I do this other multitasker. Like now they become problem aware, like, oh, I didn't realize that my Apple Watch band is actually like, I can style it and like when I get in a Zoom call or when I do this, it actually helps me look more professional. And then now this product can actually do all this and it's $20 a band. And then, but if it's like somebody wants to do focus on their existing customers and say, hey guys, people that are already aware, and it's just with the $99 offer, and then you can just cut all of the stuff and the whole ad changes based off of this. The PFAs thing that Liam was sharing. If like Liam's friends don't understand that that's causing an issue, and now they're researching themselves, they're going to be left with the point like, what do I buy? Like, what's the solution? Do I just not wear an Apple Watch band at all? I'm starting to every day. I'm going to post a new insight here, which will be, I think, also helpful for all of you. So everything that like we get from the data side, I'm going to put in as in like on our blog. So there'll be hundreds of insights that we can always reference. But I was trying to like break that down here. The difference is like if people that are problem aware, this is like problem aware. People that are solution aware generally would like need a different headline banner. Like problems are generally questions and solutions are generally statements. They just invert that. Like still manually tracking your expenses, automated bookkeeping under 60 seconds. I know that I need to automate bookkeeping. I already have gone past the stage with like understanding that I'm not, or that I am manually tracking. Like I've already realized that like I'm already doing that. It's a problem. I just need someone that has a solution. Okay, so now the solution is you can do this under 60 seconds. Cool. Versus like can't fall asleep without tossing and turning, deep sleep in under 10 minutes. That's like problem aware. 5 different hooks around like questions rather. And then the statements for solutions can be just like more of the curiosity, intrigue, just statement hooks. Just a way to look at it, but like that's how I would flip them. Problem aware, solution aware. I don't even know what the product is, right? Like how can I get deep sleep in under 10 minutes? I have no idea what that product is. But like I do know my problem is I have this problem. Like I can't fall asleep while tossing and turning. Maybe you have that problem too, but to you it's not a big enough, like you have a different reason for wanting focal, for example. this can be also focal, you know, it can be the same exact thing. It's just a different value proposition. So
One thing I wonder on the insight side is how soon you should state the solution after setting up the problem. I guess like my general rule of thumb is like, I like to do it within the first 13 seconds, which is basically like introducing the product. But just I guess like what I see from a lot of competitors and like ads that have been running for a while is they spend like a very solid amount of time setting up the problem. Like that is kind of the bulk of the ad, and the solution is really just like stuffed in at the end. I think like part of that is just like you're on Instagram, you kind of know what the brand is already just from like the product name and like whatever is below. But that's something I'm kind of curious on the inside side.
I think it'll be hard to find that precise thing. I think the way that you're doing that and everyone else is doing that is totally fine. I think once you can get someone hooked in, then the way that all of you are making the ads, it's going to retain people because it's interesting, it's like compelling, and then it's also educational in a way. Because think about it this way, like we don't have to actually sell someone the product. That the whole purpose of an ad isn't necessarily to sell them on it and it being a loss. Like if somebody comes away watching it, understanding that there's a solution to the problem, or opens them up where there's a problem they didn't realize that they had, that's great. That's a win. That's the whole purpose of an ad, is to like educate, inform, or entertain. So that I would still call that a win. The intro body and close is what gets them to want to close the gap and just like go straight to the product and check that out. But the whole journey of like the first 13 seconds, I think I wouldn't be able to give you the best feedback there. I think the way you're doing it is, it works. As like unsophisticated as a market is, like the market is really smart because they just know like what everything is. Like that's why commercials don't work as effectively anymore. You know, like a commercial's coming, so you're just gonna like leave. But how did like the Super Bowl get people to like do the whole commercials, make it a whole spectacle? Because you don't know what you're gonna see. It's always like unique. It's like comedic. It's interesting. You have celebrities in there. But regular TV commercial, it's like you know exactly what to expect. You're very aware of everything. Therefore, if there's ever a pattern interrupt, like, did you ever see that Coinbase Super Bowl ad 2 years ago? Have you seen this one?
We're still on the 5 stages of awareness.
Yeah,
slide.
I just clicked on it. Did you ever see this one?
Yes,
No.
I remember this now.
This was the ad they ran for a minute. They paid $6 million for this. This was like, I think it brought them hundreds of millions of dollars of sales, and like it brought in, I think like 5 or 10 million signups, just people to be interested in Bitcoin. It was the best ad. That was like one of the most effective ads of all time, because it's a pattern interrupt. You have like, you know, every celebrity in back to back to back commercials. Then you have a QR code, and then you have this curiosity, like, what the hell is this thing? So you had grandparents, 70-year-olds, like 50-year-olds, onboarding to like cryptocurrency, to a user-friendly platform. It was brilliant. Also, like if you think about what they did here, you know those old VHS, or it was like the disc stuff where it like bounces. You remember those?
Yes.
They just recreated that. So they knew their target audience is like people that are older, that have probably used like a DVD or Blu-ray, and like the thing that was bouncing, they just recreated that with a QR code. Their animal brains turn on. They're like, oh, I remember this as a kid. I haven't seen this in like 20 years, 50 years, 30 years. What is this? Boom. This was not made for kids at all. This was intentionally made for people that have used something in like the late 90s, early 2000s, and they haven't seen it in many, many years. Kids would have no idea what this is, but also it creates curiosity for kids because they're like, what is this thing? I've never seen this before. So it was like the perfect brief, simplest ad. And people tried to recreate this last year and everything like that, and it just didn't work. Because it's already been, people already know what to expect. Like, oh, there's gonna be a website that's gonna ask me to opt in and like do all this bullshit. So I'm not gonna fall for it anymore. So now you have to constantly innovate. But this was very innovative.
that would never work on like a phone or
Exactly.
tablet. Yeah.
Also think about like, if you think about the end user, right? Nobody's scrolling on Facebook, they're sitting on a TV, and then generally there's a group of people around them too, and everybody's talking about the thing. So if one person gets it and it's like, oh, I can get $10 of free Bitcoin for this, everybody else starts scanning it. And you also have this like scarcity where you know this thing's going to end because you don't know how long a Super Bowl commercial is, because it's just happening live. So like you're pulling out your phone and doing it right away, and once it's gone, it's gone. That's just like knowing your audience so well.
It would also only work as like a commercial or something that you can't like immediately skip through. It's like when that was happening, everyone was just in an uproar about like, is my relative doing this?
That's brilliant, but only for people that use Tubi.
I didn't even know what that was until this commercial. So
True, I guess, yeah. People that don't have it may know about it now. There's also like I'll say this, like there could be a negative consequence of doing an ad like this, because if it's annoying, people perceive the brand as annoying, therefore they won't use it if it annoyed them. But if something was like interesting and like makes them money or gives them some sort of like dopamine or excitement, like they're going to associate that with the brand too. That's like first impression matters. And like it's kind of annoying. So that's one thing to think about, like with the hooks, like if it annoys people, they're going to associate that to the brand too. If the brand is like front and center like this. My belief is you guys are more equipped to be better at marketing because you actually understand and care about the end viewer more than a marketer does. Marketer looks at it purely from a capitalistic standpoint, like how can we make money from this? But as a creator, if you can learn how a marketer thinks, which is all about just how to create attention and generate awareness, you can tell a story that doesn't necessarily need a sale. It creates like, again, the objective of an ad is if somebody becomes problem aware, you've done your job, because the next ad will get them from problem aware to solution aware. The next ad gets them solution aware to product aware. But the probability of anyone buying on a single ad is impossible. Like you need at least 7 touch points across 7 channels across 7 days. That's generally like the rule for any sale. Like think about when you buy a car. You are subliminally messaged across newspapers, radio, TV, ads, other cars driving on the road. Then you see an offer, then you go into the dealership, and like there's so many touch points to buy anything. And sales is manipulation, but marketing can also be that way, but creating content is not that. So I think you guys are more equipped than anyone else. That's my belief with like having an editor become a strategist and strategist like learning marketing. I think it's a competitive advantage for you, all of you.